Hello, I am Bookface. I'm back with even more aliens. And starting to get to a point where the aliens barely make any sense anymore. It's not a matter of does this exist, it's a matter of could this even exist? Which, love it. Not great for credibility of the sightings, but very entertaining. So with that out of the way, let's jump right in. Woo! First creature we have is the Crazy Critter of Bald Mountain. Just one of the best names I have ever read. 10 out of 10. Creature that was sighted on November 17th, 1974 on Bald Mountain in Washington State. The size of a horse with 4 tentacle-like legs, large scales, a head shaped like a football, and antennae, and it had a greenish glow to its whole body. That would be terrifying, especially considering when I'd previously heard of this creature, I imagined it being like size of maybe a dog or something at most. It's the size of a horse. Do you know how big a horse is? That is enormous. Jeez, that would be terrifying. 2 people reported seeing the creature, as well as a large fiery object in the sky. Imagine going out and seeing that thing. I just like to emphasize, could you imagine how weird it would be going out, seeing like a UFO fall from the sky, and then seeing this thing? That would be a rough day. This is the reason I drink. I probably would drink if I saw that. After these encounters, the sighting was investigated by the police, but the investigation was supposedly taken over by heavily armed men, saying that they were with the Air Force or NASA. They wore a uniform with no identifying insignias. Their arms were just made of rocks. They were so heavy. I'm just kidding. They've got a lot of guns. It's America. Of course they have a lot of guns. This, of course, connects them back to the Men in Black, which I talked about in a different video that you should go watch. Self-sponsored, advertise. Watch my stuff. Next up, we have the giant space brains of Palos Verdes. Ooh, just some great names coming out of this video. Just, ooh, wonderful. These creatures were sighted in Palos Verdes, California on August 17th, 1971. One of these creatures was the size of a softball, while the other was the size of a human torso and resembled bluish brains. We got big brain and we got small brain. It was shrouded in vapor, and it had a large red eye in the center of what looked like the frontal lobe. Creatures were sighted at around 2 a.m. by 2 people, the exact time you'd expect to see something really weird. Only way this could have been better if it was in a Denny's parking lot, because that's where you'd expect to see giant brains on the ground. These creatures were seen sitting in the middle of the road. Not the best idea. Imagine if they weren't seen in the middle of the road. They were heard when they went splat. After speeding away from the aliens at top speed, because what is that? The 2 people arrived home over 2 hours later, despite living only 10 minutes away from the place. One of the people who sighted these creatures decided to undergo hypnosis in an attempt to remember what happened. According to his account, the space brain spoke to him telepathically, and after dropping his friend off at home, the space brains were waiting for him at his home. Space brains just dramatically sitting in the corner with the lights off. I've been expecting you. He then ended up in a spaceship filled with 7-foot-tall, bald, gray-skinned humanoids with thin lips, webbed hands and feet, with 6 fingers and 6 toes. Big gray aliens said that the space brains are their way of communicating. It's Google Translate of space. They also, not so subtly, threatened to destroy the Earth. It's kind of rude. How dare you? The person who cited this also claims that the aliens implanted a chip in his brain for further telepathic communication. That little difficult to say. Lastly, we have the Tuscumbia space penguins. Even the place Tuscumbia sounds wonderful, even though that is just a place. The creature sighted on February 14th, 1967 in Tuscumbia, Missouri. These creatures were sighted with a grayish-green mushroom-shaped UFO. I wonder if that was the only mushroom involved in this encounter, because, I don't know, that mushroom sounds pretty magic. The creature stood about 3 feet tall, had grayish-green skin, and large goggles, with black eyes and small arms with no hands, or that the arms were just moving so quick the hands weren't visible. Completely spazzing out in the corners so bad you can't even tell if it has hands. They also had some kind of protrusion where their mouth was, and it's unclear whether this was a part of their body or something artificial. Due to the greenish color of the creature and the fact that it was wearing some kind of spacesuit, often connect it in some people's mind to the Cancan Humanoid. which I also talked about in another video. I think it's the same one that I talked about earlier, but go watch it. Creatures were sighted by a farmer, and after seeing it was spooking his cows, because you can't spook a farmer's cows. It's rule number 1 about farming: don't get your cows spooked. He decided to try to attack the UFO with a rock. Very well thought out plan. I applaud you, sir, for your ingenuity and rock skills. At a certain distance, however, the farmer walked into a force field. Yes, but is it a rock-proof force field? I think not. No one has that kind of technology to block rock, except paper. After that, the mushroom-shaped UFO glowed a very bright color and took off into the air, despite the farmer's valiant effort and throwing a large rock at it as it flew. I don't know how that could have possibly failed. That should have knocked him out of the sky. And there are 3 more kinds of aliens, just wonderful names, probably all nonsense, but I love them, and yeah, that's basically what doing videos about aliens is like. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!